Day one of the 2010 NAIA Women's Tournament is in the books. He is Matt Vines. I am Brandon Shields. We are with the Jackson Sun Sports Department. And Matt, we had two of our local teams, Lambeth and Union, play today. One moved on, one did not. First of all, let's talk about Lambeth. They fell today to
Westminster.
And what was that final score?
It was 67-55. Lambeth really controlled this game for the first 30 minutes. Westminster is one of those precision type teams that if you get physical with them, if you make them speed up from what they do, it affects them. And Lambeth was able to do that for the first 30 minutes, and then the last 9 or 10 minutes they completely collapsed. I think the run was a 24-2 run that went from like a Lambeth 5 or 6 point lead, and Westminster went up 10, 12, 13. And Lambeth just wasn't able to recover from that offensively. And I know when the brackets came out, everybody was looking Lambeth Union quarterfinals. Kayla Bryant for Union, transferred from Lambeth, obviously would have been playing against her old teammates. But didn't happen. Westminster, moves on. All
right, well then, the very next game, after we go through the Walk of Champions that is traditionally done on the first day, we had the Union game, and that one was really never in doubt after about 2 minutes into the game.
No, and it's, you could say, man, they were really upset with the Freed Hardeman game, and they were ready to get back on the court, but they've been doing this to first round teams a lot, and
they've been doing it during the whole season a lot.
They've been doing it the whole season, a lot of the previous NAIA tournaments. I mean, they were Union, set a tournament record, single game record with 15 3-pointers. Just let you know that it was Southwestern Assemblies of God out of Texas, and the final was 86-47, and the Southwestern Assembly just plays as a zone. They just pack it in, and they make teams shoot from the outside. And of course, what does Union do? Well, they shoot from the outside. Kayla Hudson actually passed the career assist mark at Union. She needed 3. She got, more than 3.
She got
6. She is the new career leader and assist leader at Union. So Kayla Hudson, she's only a junior, so she's going to build on that.
Yeah. Also staying in the Trans-South, Trevecca Nazarene, who is almost local, just up the road in Nashville. Up until the last game of the day, which we'll get to in a minute, they were in the first game of the day, and it was probably the most exciting one. They got the win over
William Woods. Trevecca's a 6 seed. And I don't know if anybody would say that the Trevecca as a 6 being William Woods as a 3. William Woods is coming out of the American Midwest Conference, and
only had 2 losses coming in.
Only 2 losses, but it's not as good a conference as the Trans-South or the Golden State or some of these other power conferences. And this is just one of those games that Trevecca really had control of pretty much throughout the whole game as well. William Woods was rushing shots, and they really couldn't make anything. They made a couple of runs, but it was the freshman post inside, London Eli, the Trans-South Freshman of the Year, and Rachel Raby. I think they combined, if I remember correctly, 30 points and 26 rebounds on the inside. So really never in doubt.
No. And then, as I mentioned before, the last game of the night, by far the most exciting finish. Also, so far, the biggest upset of the tournament. Talk about that one, Matt.
Right. Oklahoma Christian, number 7 seed, upset a Point Loma Nazarene, number 2 seed. And those people that have been to the tournament before and watched Point Loma Nazarene, it's kind of the leading scorer, Colleen Palnetta, led the nation, I believe, the past 2 years in scoring. She had 31 tonight, but nobody else really stepped up. Point Loma actually took a 17 point lead in the first half, and Oklahoma Christian made it all the way back, and it's their first tournament win since 2007, so they're moving on. And for local fans, it's important because that's in Union's bracket. That knocks out the number 2 seed. Now you're stuck with number 7 Oklahoma Christian, and they will play Westminster, and then Union will play Southern Polytechnic State out of Georgia. They got their first ever NAIA tournament win today. They really handed it to McKendree. They jumped out on them early, and they never really looked back. And
I talked to Southern Polytechnic's coach, Nathan Teamer, after the game, and he was talking about, it's a physical game, but they were ready for it. They've been working to try to become a more physical team, and it worked in their favor. It was a physical game, and they just did a great job of penetrating the zone defense in the first half, getting out to a big lead, and sort of keeping it throughout.
Right, they're coming out of the Southern States Conference. It's Lee, it's some of those teams out there, shorter, so they're, that's a decent conference, and so it's not surprising that they're ready to play.
Run down the other scores for us from the first day.
Yeah, we got, let's see, we did Campbellsville 64-55 over LSU Shreveport. That was a 2-7 matchup that was really in doubt. LSU Shreveport, they just kept staying in the game, and that's Whitney Ballinger from Campbellsville is the NAIA Player of the Year, or WBCA, Player of the Year. And she had the triple double. I forgot, it was so early in the day that you kind of forget these things. That is her third triple double this season. I know it was 11 blocks, and I think it was 29 points.
25 points,
15 rebounds, 11 blocks. That's her third triple double of the year, and then she leads the nation with 21 double doubles. So she does it all.
All right. What other scores you got?
Let's see. We got Lewis Clark State over Biola, and they're going to play Oklahoma City in the second round. And Oklahoma City beat Shorter today, so that's going to be a 1-4, and then you got Trevecca and Campbellsville coming up. And then we move to Union's bracket. Union plays the Southern Polytechnic State out of Georgia. And then Westminster gets Oklahoma Christian.
All right, those games will be on Friday after they take Thursday off. Thursday, let's just run down the two local teams playing on Thursday. First one, we got Bethel playing at 12:30 against who?
Columbia. I was talking to Coach Nelson before the tournament. He said that this might be one of the most exciting first-round games. They're mirror images of each other, like to pressure the ball, get up and down the floor. A lot of people look at the first day of the tournament. You see these low scores because teams have to adjust to a new environment. It's usually opponents that they haven't seen a lot of or had much familiarity with, so it's just feeling each other out. That game could really get up there in the 70s and the 80s, which is extremely high for a tournament, for a first-round tournament game. And then the other local, Freed-Hardeman, is playing Lubbock Christian. And Lubbock Christian, of course, out of the Sooner Conference, if not the toughest, one of the toughest, and of course the Trans-South will claim that title as well. But Coach Dale Neal was talking about Lubbock Christian. They run a lot of sets. It's very hard to prepare for because a lot of teams, they might run motion or might run a few things. Lubbock Christian has a bunch of set pieces that they prepare, and so Neal has to prepare his defense to see some of those sets that they will run.
That game is tipping off at 8 p.m. Bethel again is tipping off at 12:30. Union will be tipping off at 6:15
on that Friday,
or 6 p.m. on Friday. So Thursday, fans from McKenzie and Henderson and everyone interested in Freed-Hardeman and Bethel basketball, just come out and watch, and hopefully it'll be a good day for the local teams again.